everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker unboxing time. My birthday has passed, but as the birthday passes, the Chanel sales begin. So hunted down this little jewel just to showcase what we're going to talk about. Everything here is a bit connected because the piece that I have found on sale, I didn't really think I was going to find it on sale. I really just by accident happened to be in a Chanel boutique. Usually I kind of go and hunt certain pieces down. But long story short, surprise. This is a métier d'art piece. This is a cruise piece. This is a cruise piece. This is from the La Pausa cruise collection. This is from the Greek cruise collection. But you know, cruise in a way, most of the time is becoming a sort of a métier d'art collection because the cruise Greek collection was also, or can be classified as a métier d'art collection. So that's also métier d'art. So we got métier d'art / cruises here, and then you can imagine what this piece is. It's also from a cruise collection. Which one of the three? Well, it's too early to have a sale on the Chanel Paris / New York / Egypt / Metropolitan Museum / graffiti collection because it just hit stores now. But let's see. Now, when I first saw this piece, right, I loved it. It's one of the rare. Well, you'll see what it is before I say why this particular one is the one. It's so light. I hope the box isn't empty. Could you imagine you purchase it, you come home, we're doing an unboxing for you guys, and there's nothing in the box? No, it's here, it's here. Okay. Now, I've been in love with this Camellia. This is from the cruise / Greece or Greek or ancient Greek collection, which is a collection that is partially now on sale, 40% off at Chanel. So it's open. Let me just close it. Okay. Before we get into the details, the beauty of this particular Camellia. Now, I'm not a big fan in general of every Camellia Chanel makes every season, but when I did see these over a year ago in stores, this is the smaller version. There's a bigger version. Literally, when they're on sale, it's just like $10 to $20 difference, but the big one was just a bit too big. Proportion-wise, this was much better for me. Anyway, when I saw the modesty of the material, this is a linen. It's a beige linen. Very earthy, very simple. These are handmade. There's just a beauty to this particular shade of Camellia. I can't explain to you really why, but this is the one that made me fall in love with it. And you know, there are white camellias, a bunch of them, a lot of different tweed camellias made every year, a lot of different wool or even leather camellias, even lately plastic camellias with a lot of different types of plastic camellias or pleathers made by Chanel. But this particular one, it was just the one. And this is the actual only Camellia I ever purchased from Chanel. Now, you know, we get these Camellias when we buy Chanel products. You get these little plasticky things attached to the bags. Also very pretty, I mean, mind you. You know what I mean? It almost, in the past, they used to make fabric Camellias as well. These are plastic nowadays. But it almost kind of begs the question, well, you could just kind of, you know, get the Camellia off the bag that they give you for free and make a brooch out of it. Yeah, you could. But let's get into the detail of these particular Camellias and why it's worth the money. Now, it's really expensive. It's one of the most expensive accessories you can get from Chanel is one of their handmade Camellias. Particularly, you could notice the prices vary quite a bit depending on the materials they're made in. And yes, depending also on the country where they are produced. So if you notice, when you flip the Camellias in the back, you can see the little tag where they come from. It's become quite rare to find a Camellia, as is this one, that's made in France. Usually they will be made well, some are still made in France, but mostly Chanel has started sourcing out of production. So that means that, let's say you come from Italy, most of your camellias will be made in Italy. You come from Spain, they will be made in Spain. You come from Germany, yes, they will be made in Germany. That is really bizarre, and it just doesn't feel right to me. But then again, each company tries to battle with overproduction the best they can. So to have this really, really delicate, but at the same time, you can see the texture of this of the canvasy linen. To get that together and then cut it and then glue it together and then sew this little bit on top. You can see the Made in France stamp right there. Really beautiful. Oh, this color is just divine. So anyway, they sew the little bit of the metal tag and the pin by hand to the flower. So we can open it here. No, sorry, we open it the other way. And out it goes. And here you can see the full details. So we have the 18C Chanel Made in France stamp. Divine. Okay. This particular color, okay, yeah, we do have the little Chanel logo. Now, this is something, you know, Coco herself never really overdid logos anywhere. Nowadays, you know, the market kind of demands it. But due to the fact that this is a tone sur tone, we have the same beige logo on the same beige textile material / canvas / linen. It's fine by me. It didn't need it, really. It was just as beautiful without this double C. You know, again, but then you could technically take it off, but I ain't going to do that because it would leave a hole in the back, because this is a little metal kind of hooks that once they go through the fabric, they bend them like that, so they hold the fabric still. You can't really, if you were to open this, you would break it, and then the back side of the double C would be broken. So we're not going to do that. Obviously, the double C will stay there. It's a very delicate flower. This particular color, now, you know, beige and earthy tones, really, most people shy away from them, but they are so amazing that they go with everything. Beige in particular is a very, very forgiving color. Look at this. That's why I put all of these other colored bags here. In particular, the yellow with gold. Now, some of you have been asking me how it has been keeping up with time. It has been keeping up perfectly with time. My leather pouch from the Greek cruise collection. So these two are from the same collection. Look how beautiful this beige goes with this yellow. It just works perfectly together. If we were to, of course, beige and gold also go very well together, but no matter where you put this camellia, it just works, and it doesn't want to stay, but it just goes very well. I opened this bag also to show you how much fits in it, but even on the red combination, anywhere it would go, I mean, just perfection. This is my favorite camellia ever made. I prefer it to the black and white ones. If we were to go with another cruise element, like let's say these blue cruise glasses, I mean, you can't put a camellia anywhere there, but even there with the blue, if you were to style it for a photo, let's say, let me take the bag away for a second. It's really, really cool. Works very well. If we were to combine it with black, also very beautiful and elegant. In fact, I will be styling it with black just to show you how it works together with a black shirt in particular. Oh, flew away. In this video, the camellia that we see here is a Chanel camellia, a beautiful specimen in linen and cotton made in France. let's see how it fits. Now, I've worn a particularly difficult shirt on purpose. Difficult, why? Because it doesn't have a collar, or rather it has this low cut collar, but there's no collar kind of folded, you know. And also I'm not wearing a jacket. It's easier to pull off these camellias, not to pull them off of something, but it's easier to wear them on a revers lapel of a jacket. But since it's really hot, and most of the time with climate change and unfortunately global warming, and yes, it's a fact, it exists, and it's really happening, and who doesn't believe it is a total idiot, and it's just going to burn to a crisp underneath the sun sooner or later, the rest of us are kind of giving up on jackets altogether, more or less. Of course, in the depths of winter in some parts of the world, we will still be wearing those jackets, but guess what? If I'm going to wear a real winter jacket, chances are I ain't going to be putting a summerly looking camellia on it. So, I like to wear the camellias personally, either on very light sweaters or shirts. So, let's use this as an example of the most complicated shirt in terms of camellia, because the camellia really looks good if you put it on the collar, which we don't have here. So how do we do it? I like to have the two leaves. Some of the Chanel camellias do not come with the two leaves. They would just come as flowers. The bigger ones usually are. The smaller ones usually come with the two leaves, or the extra petals if you want, but these are more like leaves. Facing upwards. You could make them face downwards if you want as well, but usually upwards. And usually this would be the position, right? So if our hearts are somewhere there, they're not really to the side, they're more kind of central in this area, we would go opposite of that in this area here. That's where I would usually place the camellia. But what I like to do very much is so as high as possible, but not too high on the shoulder. You don't want it to go over the shoulder, especially. Another thing that's very important, if you're wearing a bag, a chain over the shoulder, you don't want to break the camellia because you forget that you have a brooch, a camellia, or any brooch in general, and you just put the strap of the bag on top. Big no-go, right? So if you're going to wear brooches in general in this area of the body, you might as well either just wear them to one side and then always remember the bag strap only on the other, and don't make a mistake to flip it. It can happen that you kind of go out of the house thinking, yes, okay, I will only wear the bag here, but then all of a sudden you kind of switch to this side. So think about which one of the two shoulders is the shoulder you naturally would put the strap of your bag onto. Now, if you're wearing a backpack and you always wear both straps of the backpack on, it's a problem. If you're the type of person who wears only one strap of the backpack on, then you will also have a preferred shoulder. Same applies to when we're standing for a longer period of time. We tend to lean only on one of the two legs, either the left or the right. We're either left-handed or right-handed. Some of us can use both hands right, but anyway, that's another story. So you have to always kind of think about that. That also has to help you decide on which side, left or right, to wear your camellia brooch. In my case, tricky, because I kind of flip the bag a lot. Usually I would wear it on this side, but I prefer to wear brooches on this side as well. So if I wear a brooch, I tend to take a bag that's more of a clutch, that doesn't have a strap, or I just don't use the strap and I hold the bag in my hand. That's basically my solution to this predicament. Anyway, the petals facing upwards, and this is more or less the height I like it at. But however, I do like to experiment as well, and when I do, this particular collar is very interesting because it can help us experiment and place the camellia here. And I like to have a part of the flower off the collar, close to the neck or almost on the neck, and the other part of the camellia underneath. So I'm hoping it's not going to fall off. I'm just, for show purposes, just want to put it there. This looks kind of awkward in the beginning, but you can get used to it. And it does look really there she goes. Okay, we're gonna have to put it on for real, which I wanted to avoid because, as you see, it takes a long time. And I don't see what I'm doing. Another thing I tend to do is I would place the Camellia before I put the shirt on. Because then you can maneuver putting on the brooch in the position you want it, and then you put on the garment, because you see, if you're putting it on now, it's just a mess. It's really hard. Now I don't know where the hole is again. Oh, this is so frustrating, you guys. So frustrating. Ah, okay, I found it. Okay. Now this is, I'm stepping away so but then you can't hear me really very well. The microphone is on the camera. But anyway, this is kind of the proportions you get if you place it in this position. And this is very unusual. And most people are not going to place it there, or are also not going to suggest to place it there. But I like, in particular, and this is one of the reasons why I was really happy when Chanel came out with a beige, very organic looking, linen-y type of camellia, because it kind of blends in with my particular skin tone. But thank goodness we have these camellias in all sorts of tones, so you could match your skin tone as well, from light to dark, from pink, purple, yellow, black, brown, violet, green, whatever have you. Chanel has you covered. And I like the fact that it kind of blends in with you, and it almost becomes an extension of yourself. It's kind of a unity between, this particular Chanel piece, which is a flower, it's supposed to be organic, and the organic aspect of the body. So to me, the aesthetic of having the camellia so close, or almost like touching your neck, it's kind of very poetic. It's a poetic gesture, and I think it's really beautiful. I don't feel it's cramped or clogging you up, as long as you don't overdo it with other jewelry pieces or accessories or costume jewelry or what have you. Minimal. In this case, no earrings, there is no necklace. Obviously you can't, because it would kind of risk to damage the camellia. I wanted to say gardenia. Sometimes Chanel does make gardenia flowers as well, but this is a camellia. Just glasses and this, very simple. And then I have a bracelet. So we got the rule of 3 in this case. 1, 2, 3 accessories, and that's it. Michael Myers, yes. This is a really tacky edition. I just love Michael Myers so much, and the entire Halloween franchise. So I would wear these kind of netty, semi-translucent shirts, and then a t-shirt with like a Michael Myers print underneath. So this is a very strange juxtaposition of things and a clash of styles, which I particularly love. So there's a little bit of goth in there, there's a little bit of horror, there's a little bit of Chanel heritage in there, there's a little bit of geek and nerd through the glasses. And there's a little bit of Yohji Yamamoto. This shirt is it's a Y3/Yamamoto shirt. There's a bit of that Japanese meditational reverence in there as well. Let me just say one thing about Michael Myers. There's a silence to him. He never talks. He's always cool, calm, and collected. So as terrible as the deaths are, because he perpetrates them upon others, there's a sophistication to it as well. Now you have to transcend the mere aspect of horror to understand the aesthetic and the reasoning behind portrayal of a character such as Michael Myers. But what I want to say is, if this looks like a clash at first glance, if you dig a bit deeper, you understand that it's not. Michael Myers does fit, in many ways, a Shintoist mentality, or religion if you want, a type of meditational aesthetic that Japan has, but it also fits a soberness or a sobriety that a classic Coco Chanel, when she was still alive, represented. So I think these things through. Now, of course, when just a mere stranger doesn't know anything about me, doesn't know anything about all these elements, but in depth, but then sees them together, is going to think this looks crazy. But to me, it makes total sense. Go figure. That's Dacob for you guys. So anyway, back to you, Dacob, in the studio. This particular bag is amazing. Now, you've seen me unbox it. You've seen the ASMR unboxing. Here's a little bit of what fits inside. This is the smallest toiletry pouch by Louis. You know, I have my Chanel hand cream in there. I have some eye drops, lip balm, aspirin or ibuprofen or whatever I need on the go. This is the smallest pouch, the 15, I think, centimeter. It fits very, very comfortably in there. Got my wallet, my zippy compact fits as well. Then in the back pocket, I have my documents, and actually much more, but at the moment, oh yeah, so, wait, glasses. Here, the cruise glasses pouch also fits, and it's a big pouch. And we still have a lot of room in there. So anyway, that's just a little side note about my favorite bag at the moment, because I'm using it the most. But check this little beauty out if you ever get a chance. I mean, after sales, I don't even know what they do. At a certain point, they do send them all back. What doesn't sell gets sent back. And then they probably do their, I don't know, staff sales or giveaways or whatever they do to special people and co-workers. And after that, yes, Chanel is one of those brands that does destroy whatever's left over. It's terrible, but they do that to keep the covetability, collectability, and at the end of the day, price of their products very high and in demand. So I hope you've liked this unboxing / review, and I shall see you all very soon in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please do thumb it up. And if you haven't already but wish to, consider subscribing to my channel here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm also on Patreon. If you wish to see special exclusive videos or previews there, you can also go there, Super Dacob, all spelled together. So for now, I say goodbye, and never forget to never give up on love. Love you all. See you soon. Take care. Bye.